around his parents who are also college educated, is it really going to be acceptable for you to be sitting up there with your tits hanging out and they ask you what you're doing today and you like, nothing?
Dedication, reservation, take a look inside your salvation. Do every good work, it takes patience, like a butterfly.
What is up, guys? Sophie here, back with another video. If you are new to my channel, then don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to hit the notification bell, and don't forget to check the description box because I always put a lot of stuff in there, specifically my book for single women and also this book, which we are going to be talking about today. I have been covering a lot on this book on my channel recently. I feel like y'all gonna be like, Sophia, really, are you just gonna be Mother Goose and read us the whole book? No, it's a learning experience. And so now I'm going to talk about how men really judge women. So first we have the A-class women with attractive women with game. When we talk about game, I guess I can just read it. An A-class female is known as a top-notch female that other ladies aspire to be. They are very attractive women who have lots of game to back up their looks. They are the most successful of all of the classes of women, and this is why they can choose from a better selection of men at their disposal. The most admirable thing about the A-class woman is that she could have easily relied strictly on her beauty to get whatever she wanted out of life, but she chose to make an effort to upgrade her game. This is what makes her the bomb. She is usually very attractive, physically fit, very well educated. She is intelligent, but she's not corny. She is strong-willed, but she maintains her femininity and she still looks sexy. So I think that mature men understand that if a woman is a good business person, if she is killing her life, if she cares about her temple, if she cares about herself, this is something to be honored because this is what she can add on to my life. A lot of these male advice people will have you thinking that looks, and even some females, I have seen them, especially this hypergamy, they will make you think that looks is the only thing that matter, but it simply is not true. I think that looks matter to a particular type of male who is all about control, and they don't want women to have anything to say, and they don't want to feel less subpar to you, and therefore they're like, oh, I just want a woman to look good, and therefore I don't want her to have an opinion, I don't want her to say anything, and as long as she's pretty, that's good enough for me. Real secure men are not like that. Real secure men who have built something for themselves don't mind women who have goals and who also has built something for themselves. So the B-class female is an attractive woman with no game. A B-class female is an attractive, and I was actually surprised that he rated this woman so high, but just to give you in short, she usually will get the basic necessities out of life. She can get guys to buy her food, she can get guys to take her to the mall to get her clothes, and she can get guys to pay her bills. But remember this, the B-class female rarely comes up big time. Why am I emphasizing that? Because a lot of advice in this day and age that I keep seeing on the internet keeps telling women just be pretty and go about your business and you're gonna get a fabulous man and a fabulous life. You're not. Like, I'm sorry. And so it says, many B-class females are attention freaks and their whole role revolves around attracting a successful man so that he might save her. What did I say? What did I say before, right? The B-class female can easily get a man, but she has a hard time keeping a man. And because they have no game to pack up their looks, many B-class females aspire to be actresses or models because they think that is all they have to do is look cute and people will pay them for it. And I even talk about this in my Can Christians Be Hypergamous video. And I highly suggest that you check it out. Then I'll leave it down below. Is this exactly what I'm talking about? Is this whole, oh, just look cute and that's it, and some man is gonna come save you and provide for? No, they're not. Why? And so a B-class female is too lazy to do all of that, and the laziness is the reason why many B-class females only rise to a groupie or a stripper status. An attractive female who has had the world given to her on a silver platter really has no incentive to acquire any other type of knowledge or higher learning. And so I want to give you an example of what I feel like a B-class female is. I feel like the Kardashians, all of them are like that. When you think about it, what they have to offer is not a skill set. Like, and this is no shade, I think that they're beautiful women, but this is why they always have to maintain their beauties with these extreme plastic surgery. It's because that is the only laurels that they have to rest on. And guess what else? They all have really bad men problems. And that's the reason why I bring them up, is the Kardashian, they all have really bad man problems, because like he says, yes, they can get a man, but keeping a man is a different story. If you all look at them, they just all have issues with cheating men, keeping men. Kanye, he on some different stuff. I ain't even going to get into that. But really, that is just, to me, the prime example of where looks only will get you. And I feel like if you think about Kim Kardashian, you guys know that she was kind of really high on the totem pole back in the day, and now Kylie is kind of taking over that role. But now that she's getting older, it's like she's trying to become a lawyer, I think. And the reason why is, I think it's because she understands that she can no longer rest on her beauty or her looks, and that, I think she's still beautiful. I mean, even though I'm not a fan, she is still beautiful. But I think that it did click in her mind that, hey, I need to be about something, because I can't continue to rest on my laurels and Kanye's going crazy. I feel like when you are like a B-class female and you are relying on a man to save you, then you just take any man, even if it's not the best. But I feel like when you are A-class female, yes, it may take longer, but you don't necessarily feel like, oh, I just have to get whatever is handed to me because that's the only man that will take me in or marry me. You feel like you can go a little higher than that, right? So let's go on to the C-class female, which are the Mannequins. It's a female who looks like the Mannequin is a female who has a look that will enhance or reduce based on her persona. She is not drop dead gorgeous, but she is not a mud duck either. A C-class female might look average at first glance, but if she has a sexy attitude or a cool disposition, that could have elevated her from being a 5 to an 8. There are some C-class females who look kind of cute at first glance, but then they open their mouth and start speaking some ghetto nonsense, and that just messes up their whole vibe. So the C-class female has a direct impact on the way that people view her beauty. A bad attitude makes a C-class female appear unattractive. It's no different from a female meeting an attractive guy who at first glance makes you want to jump his bones, and then you get to know him and find out that he's that he's stupid. So I always feel like beauty is subjective. I have said that. I always have high self-esteem. Don't get it twisted. But I felt like the way that men looked at me was a C. And the reason why is because I'm 36, and so I have a real baby face. Back then I had a real baby face. I was not the sexy type. Obviously I look like a child. And so I learned this, and I remember that even prior to reading this book, but I remember thinking, oh, this is me, because even at a younger age, and I look very young, I was able to attract men. Why is that? That's not to brag. This is gems for you. Why was I able to attract men? I was able to attract men based on my personality. It's because personality can make a big difference as far as how people perceive you if you are confident within yourself. And that's why I say it's like, yeah, everybody can't be born looking a certain type of way. Everybody can't, look like what we perceive. And that's why I say it's a perception to be the most beautiful person in the world. But I feel that you can genuinely become that by, and this is why I always say, by becoming a nice person, by being about something, by having something to say. I can almost bet you, unless they are really a man, and I have seen them, right? Unless they are a man who really just has an insecurity issue, you can probably set a supermodel next to yourself. And if the guy really feels like I connect more with you, they're going to choose you. And I can give you an example of this when we talk about George Clooney and Amal Clooney. I feel like Amal is beautiful, right? But is she, because I don't want to sound mean, because I feel like she's beautiful, but because George Clooney has access to a lot of celebrities, I believe that he's dated a lot of supermodels and X, Y, and Z. So could he physically probably find somebody who looks better than her according to the world standards? Sure. But why was he attracted to Amal? Because she was an international attorney that wasn't paying his behind no mind when he tried to holler at her, and she came off as being not impressed, and I'm about something and I don't know what to tell you. And so he married her. And so that's what I mean by personality can carry you a long way. So let's get into the D class. These are unattractive with no game. As I already said, I don't necessarily feel like women are unattractive. I feel like a lot of people can upgrade their beauty just by simple things, right? But to him, it says, and even he says, a D-class female doesn't necessarily have to be unattractive, but she is a female who has known from an early age that she does not get over in life strictly based on her physical attributes. So she has learned to hone in other skills or talent. So, and women like these, and I agree with him, Oprah. I don't think that Oprah is unattractive, but even if you hear about Oprah's story, she grew up feeling like she was unattractive. So even like he said, she doesn't necessarily have to be unattractive, but she is a female who has known from an early age that she is not going to get over in life strictly based on her physical attributes. And Oprah has actually talked about that before. And so I feel like she is a prime candidate of who would be, you know, a D-class female. I also feel like if you think of Oprah, Oprah is an A-class female now, in my opinion. I can't imagine too many guys that if Oprah came on to them, probably because of her status, that she would say no. But I feel like she's a prime example of how you can move between D-class and A-class, because you see the progression of Oprah. She got into Weight Watchers, she got into taking better care of herself, she got into, and then you can see the difference. And I remember growing up, just because I remember Oprah and her journey, I remember you could physically see the difference as she kind of elevated. She actually elevated herself and she started taking better care of herself. And I feel like you could see that radiate through her beauty from the outside. I really do. And so this is why, for me personally, I feel like beauty is so subjective, but I also feel like you can move. Like if you feel like I felt like I was a C-class female, but you have to know, and this is just me being very transparent, is like, what are your strengths? Is your strengths personality? Why do men like spending time with you? Why do men like talking to you? Men like talking to me because they always said I was different. I always have something to say. I was always fun. I was always nice. I wasn't a complainer. I wasn't these things. So these are the things that set me apart as to the reason why I got a lot of dates. I mean, I'm sure they were physically attracted to me, but like I always say, physical attraction comes a dime a dozen, and it is in the eye of the beholder. So if you are relying solely on that, then you are going to have a problem. You need to have something else to offer. And even if you feel like, oh, I'm not the most attractive person ever, right? Then you also need to understand that you can change that. You can change that. I suffer from really bad acne. You can change that by taking better care of your skin. You can change that by exercising. You can change that by water. You can change that through so many avenues to be your best self and comparing your best self to your best self. You can't look at like somebody like Beyonce and be like, oh, I'm mad I don't look like Beyonce. Okay, nobody looks like Beyonce. Well, some people do, but you know, that's Beyonce. Don't compare that to, oh, that's the ultimate woman I want to be like, because that's unreasonable. If we are talking about the everyday person, I feel like when men go out and they see everyday women, they don't see Beyonces, right? They see normal people like you and me. And so you can improve yourself to be the best version of yourself. So then we're going to go into the F-class females. These are the unattractive women with no game. And once again, these are not necessarily meaning that they are unattractive, but I do feel like this is probably the most important things that you need to realize, because I feel like a lot of the times women are F-class women and they kind of feel like it's cute. Like these are the women who are loud, they yelling, they arguing, they always fighting with each other, they always doing the absolute, you know, most. And he actually just calls them ghetto. I mean, you could think whatever you want to think about it, but we all use the word ghetto. You know what I'm talking about. Don't mean that you have to live in the ghetto, but it's literally like she's the stereotypical ghetto person that we see. And I think a lot of women don't necessarily know that's something that you should not be striving for. I feel like when we talk about reality shows, that is something that they like to show, is the D-class female mentality. Oh, I am cursing you out. I am fighting you. I am throwing drinks on you. I am loud. I am, you know, ratchet. I have things hanging out. Even he says like, oh, she wears animal print from more than one animal at a time. She dates guys for food. She, you know, the car note is more than your rent. This is like the hood rich mentality, right? And so this is what I'm talking about when it comes to, you know, not necessarily attractiveness, but really what separates these females is the way that they behave. And even it says these women can be in an upscale restaurant and they will still laugh, talk loud, and cackle at the top of their lungs in order to bring attention to themselves. I feel like you get the point when it comes to D-class females. And honestly, I don't even feel like this is education level. I have seen D-class females be educated and they just be just as hood as the day is long. And this is not hood as in I am from the hood. I'm talking about this is your behavior. Like I have literally encountered them at work where everybody had to have a master's degree minimum and they stay yelling, they stay cussing people out. But just because you get a college degree don't necessarily gives you class. And I hate to be like that, but I'm not trying to be mean. It doesn't give you class in terms of, it don't necessarily mean that you know how to act, right? And so I think that it's important for women to realize that you know, improving yourself and the way that men see you, because this is what it's about. It's a full thing, and especially when you want to attract the best type of man. You want to attract a man that complements your empire or whatever the case may be that you have built, right? You want to be able to be in a room with your man. If you want a businessman, for example, you want to be able to be in a room at his company and people not look at you stupid because you don't know anything and you don't have anything articulate to say. I think that's one of the worst advice going on, that, oh, a woman just needs to be pretty and just play dumb, and that's what men want. No, because really when you put yourselves in these environments, and depending on the type of man that you want, you have to think, you know, where is this man going to be taking you? What is the experience going to be? If you go around his parents who are also college educated, is it really going to be acceptable for you to be sitting up there with your tits hanging out and they ask you what you're doing today and you like, nothing, you effing B, F that, and you don't even know that you're not supposed to be cussing around his parents. It's like these sort of things that, aside from beauty, because I feel like, look, be your best, about personality differences that a lot of women need to work on, that may be actually keeping them from, you know, a good relationship. All right, guys, this video is getting a little long, about to be out. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys another day, another time. Bye, y'all.
Not ready for the show to end? It doesn't have to. You can head over to my site where you can read hundreds of articles. And also you can feel free to shop my store where I have all of my products for sale. And last but not least, for even more video content, feel free to visit my YouTube channel where I talk about a wide array of content. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and until next time, stay blessed.